I'm Katie Wells, host of the Maximized Minimalist podcast. I escaped the hamster wheel of modern-day motherhood, overwhelmed by clutter and buried under the mental load. Now I live in a home that feels calm, manageable, and made for real life. I have margin in my days, energy for who matters most, and time for slow mornings and silly dance parties in the kitchen with my family. With over 5 million listens, the show has helped women around the world turn their homes into their happy place. Around here, we simplify for more peace, more presence, and more joy. We choose grace over guilt and progress over perfection. And we believe your home should give back more than it takes. I'm here to help you do the same. Come along with me and my guests as we share the real stories, habits, and strategies that help you lighten the load from the inside out. Pull up a seat, friend, and let's do this together. Ready, set, simplify. I came across a quote recently, and I've been so excited to share it with you. It is this: beliefs set the direction and behaviors build the road. Oof, like some quotes, they just hit you like deep in your soul. And I think the reason this one has hit me so hard and really stuck with me is because I've experienced this more times than I probably want to admit in my life. And because our beliefs really do act like this compass, they point us to what matters most. For example, I believe health is important, taking care of my health. I believe my mental health and happiness are more valuable than stuff. I believe connection with my family matters more than achievement. But sometimes the road I build with my behaviors doesn't follow the direction my beliefs are pointing me. Some nights I stay up too late scrolling. Some days I buy something hoping it will bring me calm. Some days I'll fill with tasks when really what I need deep down is margin. And maybe you felt this too. Maybe you believe in rest, but your schedule says otherwise. Maybe you believe in connection, but your attention is chronically pulled elsewhere. Maybe you believe in taking care of your health, but the choices in your days aren't lining up. This gap between where our compass is pointing and the road we're actually building is what psychologists call the belief behavior paradox. Y'all know we're going to geek out. Like, I can't go very many episodes without bringing it back to how we are wired. The belief behavior paradox, once you start noticing it, you start to see it everywhere in your life, and maybe even in your friends and your family and your loved ones. I think when I noticed this, I was like, oh, she's like, I immediately thought of some friends who were really good at closing that gap and noticing friends that have gaps in certain areas, right? We can always see it, I think, easier in other people, maybe your partner, your kids. So it can show up in so many ways, how we parent, even in how we manage our homes. So today I want to unpack why this exists, how it sneaks into our daily lives, and again, most importantly, how we can gently realign so that the road we're walking at actually matches the direction you and I believe in. So again, beliefs set the direction, just like a compass, and behaviors build the road. So if your compass is pointing north, but your road is headed east, you feel it. Like, I don't want to head east. I always think of the Wicked Witch. Oh, it's actually Wicked Witch of the West. Well, isn't there one in the east too? I got to reread that book, but you get where I'm going. I don't want to go hang out with her. It creates too much stress and too much tension. I've done it before, because here's the thing. You're still working hard, but maybe you're just not working hard on the right things because you're not heading where you actually want to go. I used to feel like this every single day when I was buried by the weight of my clutter. I remember waking up and being like, honestly, Katie, how did I end up here? So here's a question I asked myself and how we can all ask, what we can all ask. Where is your compass pointing you right now? What do you believe matters most? And if you look honestly at your behaviors, what kind of road are your behaviors building? Where is it taking you? We don't need to go see the Wicked Witch, east or west. I read a couple months back that if someone followed you around for a week, what would they say you valued? What would they say your priorities are? Just as an objective observer. And I was like, ooh, dang, right? Really ties into what we're talking about today. So there are a few reasons the compass and road don't always match up. Before I get into them, I want to pause and say this. Let's normalize seasons of life. We all have them. We're going to have more of them where your behaviors won't perfectly reflect your beliefs. That's normal and expected. Like if you've just had a baby, if you're deep in a demanding project at work, like if you're caring for an aging parent, of course your road looks different for a while. What we're really talking about today is when the misalignment becomes this long-term pattern and you keep walking further and further and further away. Mostly because of some sense, it's some type of autopilot. I mean, it can be months. For me, in a lot of ways, I'll be honest, it was really years past. And I was on autopilot with these behaviors I didn't know were so detrimental and taking me further from my values. That's what we're talking about here. Those long stretches. And I'll be honest again, like recently I found myself in one of those. It had been probably a couple months long, heading to the Wicked Witch. Dang it. Hate when that happens. I had been feeling super angsty, which is not like my personality. Typically, if I start to feel burdened and overwhelmed, I'll get like reactive, like the normal stuff, a little snappy here and there, maybe a little anxious, but I was like angsty. I was like mad at the world. I was mad at Andrew for no reason. Anything my kids did, it was just like, I was finding all the negative things. And I was like, after a couple weeks, I was like, I could not get out of this funk. Losing my temper, snapping more. And at first I was like, oh, you know what? I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. But even if I got 8 hours of sleep the next day, I was still like that, right? So it wasn't lack of sleep. It was becoming a longer term pattern. So in reflection, I noticed, dang, Katie, you say you value your health, but look at the last 2 months. Look at your summer. I did not take care of myself at all at the capacity that I was able to. And I had all the excuses, just like we all do, all the reasons why I justified not working out, eating junk food. Oh man, I put on weight. My body hurts. Now I'm feeling 2 months later, the downwind effect of my behaviors not lining up with the belief. I'm literally at the Wicked Witch's castle and I'm like, dang it. I don't want to be here. And it wasn't on accident. I was on autopilot, justifying, hey, I don't need to do this. It's summertime. Man, I'm still feeling those consequences. So instead of saying, here's how we fix it, which we'll talk about, I want to check in on some common reasons why this happens, because I think we must acknowledge that right here in our community. We get to the heart of it. That's what we do. So 4 big reasons really fast. Number 1, our brains chase short-term relief. This is what my brain was doing this summer. My belief points north. My health matters. But the road I built looks like, it's so much easier to eat a cookie than make something from scratch. Or it's just so much easier to reach for some packaged junk food than make myself a healthy snack, right? I was craving short-term relief and probably sugar, if I'm honest. I wanted that immediate satiation that sugar hit gave me, even though we all know what happens after that sugar hit. This dovetails with number 1, but I made it its own. We take the convenient way out way too often. So again, in reflection, man, our values and the behaviors that help us get closer to those, think about it. They're never convenient. They're never convenient. We have to plan ahead. If I say health matters, one thing I used to do when my behaviors were in alignment with that was I would prep ahead. I would make smoothies to eat those in the car line and not have junk food, right? I planned ahead. I had to be intentional. I had to act on them. I had to be consistent. That's just one small example. It wasn't convenient for me to plan ahead. It's easier and more convenient to grab the junk food, right? This is what I'm talking about here. Number 3, culture sells us false norths all the freaking time. Your belief points north. Oh, my home and less clutter and the peace in my home matters more than stuff. But behaviors veer off. You hop on Instagram and within 30 seconds, 8 different influencers are making you feel fear of missing out. You're going to be a bad parent if you don't buy this parenting course. If you don't want to get plantar fasciitis in your 30s, you have to buy this new pair of running shoes or you are doomed for life. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I need this stuff, right? Because everything around us screams happiness for sale. You want to avoid this pain, buy this thing to avoid this mistake or this pain. And it's so easy to get caught up in these false norths. And then, of course, remember, life season shift. Your belief points north. Family connection matters. But maybe in that season of work deadlines or kids' activities, kids' sports, like nightly family dinners might not work temporarily. And our habits don't always update as fast as our lives change, and that gap can grow, right? So the bottom line is this: the gap is normal in short term, but when it becomes long-term pattern, we feel the weight of it. And for me, it was emotional, mental, and physical, unfortunately. Oh man, maybe you've noticed this too. I don't know. Are you restless? Do you ever get angsty? Like, I don't know, angsty Katie, you don't want to see her. You don't want to be around her. So know that you're not alone in that. And so now the question becomes, all right, Katie, like, how do we bring the compass and the road back together? Like, let's go to, the Wizard of Oz, the Emerald Castle. I don't want to be at the Wicked Witch's front door. It's not fun. She's not nice. Here are 3 simple practices that'll change the game and what work for me every single time, right? We all have times we need to autocorrect. So use these. Number 1, name your compass. The autopilot I talked about is a big reason this happens. So we need to stop to remind ourselves what is important and needed in this season. I talk a lot about seasons of life because dang, there are a lot of them. And we have to consider that. When you don't name your compass that you need right now, you drift every single time. So say it out loud. Right now, I believe blank matters most. I need this most right now. We as a family need blank most right now. Maybe it is health. Maybe it is less clutter. Maybe it is connection, which less clutter leads to more connection, by the way. Whatever it is, name it out loud. Like, honestly, just do it. When you speak it, you sharpen the direction. Intention matters. And you remind your brain, hey, this is north. Next, we're gonna notice that gap. Awareness helps give us back our power. Is it all we need? No, but it's important. When you hear yourself in that pattern, why am I snapping at my kids? Like, why have I been snapping at my kids all the time? Again, we're talking about long-term patterns. Why do I feel like just like out of my skin right now? What's going on? This is sometimes your compass waving a flag saying, hey, you veered east. That wicked witch, she's right behind your back and she means business. The noticing takes a little work. But once you see it, you can start to change it. And then what do? Do we overhaul our whole life and write a 20-page habit tracker or 20-step habit tracker, all the new habits we need to do to align? No, pick one small step. It's always one small step. I'm telling you, we think we need the giant gesture, the complete reset. Like I used to be that person. I was like, when I felt crummy, I used to do this like 9-day health detox. Did more harm than good. And guess what? Not sustainable. Didn't make me feel great. And couldn't stick with it. No way in heck. So if you say you value health like I do, guess where's a great place to start? Fill your water bottle. Fill that Stanley cup. I know you have 4, 5, 6 in your cabinets like the rest of America. So fill it up, girl, and actually drink it. If you say you value connection, this one's tough, man. Put your phone down for 5 minutes, play with your kids. Now, I say that one with no judgment and no shame. All right, some of you are going to be like, ooh, I'm triggered right now. I'm saying that because I also have to remind myself, put my freaking phone down, right? Put my phone down, my kids in front of me. This is my time to connect. And guess what gets in the middle of that? For a lot of us, our phones. If you say you value a peaceful home, go clear off the top of your nightstand so it's not screaming at you when you go to bed tonight. Literally one small step. That is it. And when you do, we celebrate. We don't just minimize it. We don't just go like, oh, I only did that. Or, yeah, that was only 5 minutes. Or, oh, I only got rid of 2 things. Or, oh, big deal. I drank my whole Stanley cup today. Like, actually notice how it feels good when your belief and your behavior more closely line up. We have to celebrate it. And when we start tuning into how our body, mentally and physically, how it feels when we're doing these behaviors, taking these actions, that is a sign you are headed to the Emerald City. I don't know how we got on this Wizard of Oz analogy, but we're gonna end there. Okay. So here's the takeaway. Your beliefs set the direction. Yes, they are your compass, but your behaviors build the road. And when those two line up and when we can start to close the gap, even in the tiniest ways, you're going to feel happier. You're going to feel more content, and you're going to feel like you're getting yourself back. If this conversation got you thinking, my Ready, Set, Simplify newsletter is the perfect next step. Thousands of you, tens of thousands of you tune into these episodes every single week. And in this newsletter, I send short, actionable tips to help you simplify not just your home, but your life, right? That's what we do here as Simplifiers. It's all connected. Sign up for free using the link in the show notes, katiejoywells.com. And you know what to do. See you next Wednesday. Ready, Set, Simplify. Bye.